Okay, so I'm just gonna get started. Hey, you guys. I'm gonna start off by sharing my screen. You can't see anything, or if you're having difficulty, just write in the chat. I'll be checking the chat every so often just to make sure everyone's watching everything. Okay, hello, you guys. It's your girl Fanella Quo. Thank you guys so much for registering for this workshop, Ugly Budget Pretty Content. Out of all the workshops I've done, I can say this one is very near and dear to my heart because I feel like this one was birthed out of the struggle of being a creative and being like a struggling artist or like a broke creative and not having as much funds as I would have liked to create things. And I feel like it really, really struck my creativity. So I was thinking about whether or not you have a lot of money in the bank or not, it's always great to learn how to create things on a budget because if you can save money, why not do that? So I'm gonna just go through the slides. We're gonna have a 10-minute break in the middle. I'm gonna have Q&As, I'm gonna have brand audits, I'm gonna give away 1 or 2 consultations. Also, I'll let you guys know there will be a replay. So if you have to use the bathroom, anything comes up, just know that there will be a replay that I will send to you so you can go back over it and even take more notes. And lastly, if you guys did not know, well, I'm guessing you know because I sent you guys an email this morning with the link to this and also the link to the bonuses. So the bonuses are there's a video. I go into detail about like how to plan a photo shoot in detail. So if you feel like I didn't go into detail here, it's because I have a video that I sent you about 20 minutes long. It goes into detail about how to plan a photo shoot, even goes into detail about pulling clothes and photographers and finding them and collaborating. But I'm still gonna go over all of that today in here. But just even while you're in the shower or while you're getting dressed or cleaning up, play that. You have access to it. Only you guys have access to it. It's a private video. And then I also sent you guys a list of various different like camera, photo, video equipment that you guys can use to build your own studio, record your own content, things like that at home. Um, all that's in your email. If you didn't get it, just like DM me on Instagram, email me, or write it here that you didn't get it, and I will send it to you. But I'm guessing you guys got it because you guys are all here right now. So I think a lot of people, I don't know if they've opened their emails, but we're missing a lot of people, but I just want to start to respect everyone's time. So I guess can someone or everyone write in the chat like what you hope to get from this workshop or why you registered, something like that. I think that will, make everything like the momentum good right now. So if you can just tell me like why you registered, what you hope to get from it, or whatever, and then we'll start. You can write it in the chat, just letting you guys know. You never know. I might do a giveaway for the person who writes stuff. Let me give you guys one more second. Okay, cool. I'm gonna read the ones that I see so far. Oh no, go back. Okay, let's look at the chat. Okay, so Isaiah, hey! I want to clean up my aesthetic for my brand and learn how to elevate my content. Great, I have something for you in here. Solange, tips on how to maximize a smaller budget to still get great content. Great, I have something for you here. If you guys are in my last workshop, I went over like iPhone tips, this and that, and presets. I put that again in this workshop because I feel like everyone wants to go over that all the time. I also put some of my favorite brands in this workshop again. So if you know some of the slides are the same, I'm not playing you. It's just that there's certain things that I always have to reiterate when I'm talking about branding, you know? And see, I registered because I am in the place of building my own thing and how you first started limited finances. I'm looking for some wisdom perspective on how to. Okay, great. Well, everyone, you guys are all in the right place, I hope. And if I don't answer a question that you have, I will eventually. So let me introduce myself once I can remove this chat out my face. Can this chat move? Why is this chat in my face now? Okay, good. So it's so awkward always talking about myself, but hey. So my name is Penel. Like, well, I'm a fashion influencer. I do a lot of things. I can say I'm a digital marketing strategist. I'm a consultant. I'm a blogger. I'm a YouTuber. I sell hair. I creative direct. I style. I model. But I guess I'm just gonna say for this, I'm a fashion influencer and I do digital marketing strategy. So I'm a fashion influencer. I'm known for my bold sense of style and extravagant wigs, which I showcase in my photo and video content. And you guys can do that too. Whatever you do, whether you're an influencer or even if you are working corporate 9 to 5, you can influence people based off who you are and what you do through your content. I've been featured in Vogue, Elle, and so much more. All opportunities, I got them through my content and putting myself out there. I'm also a digital marketing strategist. So day-to-day 9 to 5 before COVID hit and I got furloughed, I was working in marketing in New York. I love helping brands expand and create their digital presence through content marketing and management, okay? Okay, so today we're gonna talk about, there's gonna be like 2 major parts. Part 1 is creating, planning, and building your brand and your content. I'm gonna take a 10-minute break. You can go, wasa, you can go use the bathroom, whatever you wanna do. Part 2, we're gonna talk about editing and engaging. And then we're gonna have a Q&A, brand audits, giveaway, and a surprise. And then check your email for the 2 bonuses because when I send those bonuses, they do the heavy lifting for me, so I don't have to stay on here for 5 hours. So 2 bonuses are the video about like how to plan a photo shoot, and I go into a lot of things there about pulling clothes, collaborating with other people, finding photographer, budgeting, all that. But I'm gonna go over that stuff today either way, but it's just good to play that video. And then also in your email you have a list of so much different photo video equipment, affordable cameras, all of that, even like tripods for your iPhone that you can use to create your own studio at home or just even create content at home. These are just things that I use that help me create content faster and more seamlessly. I emailed you all of that. Now on top of that, I'm going to be giving away 2 brand consultations, and I'll be doing maybe like 1 to 3 brand audits on here live. Okay. This will end by 3, just letting you guys know. We'll probably end by like 2:30-ish, and then we'll probably have Q&A at the end. And there is a replay that I will email to all of you guys at the end of this. Okay, so every single workshop I do, I start off talking about branding. Branding is something that the reason why all of you guys are here is because you either have a brand, you want a brand, or you like branding, okay? So whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, you already have a brand, okay? And with your content, your photo, your videos, that is how you're basically showcasing your brand to the world, through your phone, you're influencing people through your content, So it's really, really important, like not just what you see in your mind and what you see in your head and what you want to be out there. It's what's more important is creating the content, getting it out there, and getting that brand message out there. You get what I'm saying? It's not enough to have the idea to create Sprite or Fanta or Coca-Cola, right? It's more so you have to brand it. You have to create content that shows what you're seeing in your mind. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't have to look exactly like what you see in your mind. It never ever will. But a lot of you guys have these great ideas for content, for photo shoots, for styling, but you don't know how to get it out your mind. So I'm gonna help you today try to get those images, those visuals that you see, get them out your mind by just basically breaking it down and taking some of those mental blocks and financial blocks outside of your head, okay? So brand perception is how people see you. I always go over this. It's not just online. It is online. It's on social media, but it's also in person, you guys. Like what people think about you. When you walk into a room, how do people feel? Like what do people notice about you or observe immediately? What do people take away from you as a takeaway when they are done interacting with you? What do people say about you to their friends, their people? Even down to things like, y'all, so deep. Even when you're dating, how men or women, whoever you're dating, how they perceive you, right? Like you'll notice there'll be some common things. You know, people might be like, oh, she's always put together, or she's always very motivated, or wow, she wears these beautiful bright colors, or wow, you know, there's all these different things that people take note of from meeting you online or even in person. And you want there to be a connection between the two. Really good branding means you have a strong online presence, but you also have a very strong in person presence. I find that sometimes people only have one. You want to have both. Why? Because a strong online presence gets you opportunities from people that you've never met, but then an in-person strong brand gets you opportunities from people that you're actually meeting. You get what I'm saying? And if you can do both, you'll just exponentialize the amount of opportunities that you have. I don't even know if exponentialize is a word, but we're gonna take it. What people say out of you, out of sight, out of mind. If you're not in front of people's faces, you're not going to be remembered by them, okay? And you need to make your content memorable. You need to make your presence memorable. You get what I'm saying? When you go into these places, when you're posting on social media, you need to become memorable. You need to be consistent. Sometimes I've had imbalances where I'm everywhere online, but I'm not attending events. That's not good. You get me? As a fashion influencer, I should be on my blog, on YouTube, on Instagram, but also I should be at Fashion Week, at fashion shows, at fashion networking events, at art events. You get what I'm saying? Collaborating with other people, getting in front of their audience. You have to do all of that together. Next thing I would say is these things, your brand perception, how people perceive you in person, online, it influences your rates. You guys, let's just take it into everyday life. When I was in New York and I was working in marketing, I believe one way I was able to influence my salary is because of the way I walked into the interview. I came into the interview, I wore like a really pretty mustard colored dress. I know it sounds like a wild card, but it was like really pretty. I wore like nice black hair. My makeup was done very nicely. I had heels on, had a nice bag, nice jacket. I smelled really good. And literally right then and there, the CEO was like, oh, it's her. Right then and there, the CEO was like, it's her. She's the marketing associate that we need for this company. And they gave me the offer right there. And because they perceived me in such a great way, I was able to negotiate my offer upwards of 50% of what they offered me. They offered me a salary and I negotiated 50% more than what they offered me and I got it. Okay. And all that because of my brand perception. And later on, she told me, she said, there's certain people you meet in life, when you meet them, you're like, that's the one. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. She said, when I met you, you were so put together that I was like, she has it. And I was like, because she has herself put together, she was like, I know she can make our online brand be put together. So all these things, they influence the money in your pocket, not just what brands pay you, but what your job pays you. If you come into an interview, your nails are like messy, your fingers are dirty, your breath is kicking, you smell weird, you look exhausted, you're gonna feel that energy. So all of this is important when I'm talking about the content, but do not forget that in-person aspect. You don't want to be lit online and people meet you in person. It's like, what's going on, you know? So there's so much different types of content. There's fashion content, food content, travel content, beauty, lifestyle, self-care, skincare, business. Recently, I pivoted my YouTube to skincare because people love skincare content. And because if you guys don't know, I have hormonal acne and I've been dealing with it. And rather than just showing all my pretty pictures with the makeup and stuff, I was like, yo, I've struggled with acne and I've been looking for people to show me their journey and it's helped me. Let me share my journey with other people so people can know that, yo, I struggle with acne too. And that actually helped my YouTube channel grow 1,000 subscribers in 1 month. It's like helping my Amazon affiliates do well. It's monetized now. But my main thing, of course, is fashion. But I thought about it and I was like, excuse me, wait, fashion and skincare is basically about looking good. And when you look good, you feel good. So my YouTube is centered around now looking good and feeling good, whether it's your fashion, your beauty, your hair, your skincare, about looking good and feeling good. Whereas my Instagram, it's very, very focused on fashion and branding. So it's okay to have multiple different types of content. Just make sure you're bringing them all into like one place. Like, you know, there should be a center focus of it. So for me, it's look good, feel good. That's my focus right now with my brand. There's room on the internet. There's never any type of content, any type of niche, as you would also say, is never too saturated. With all these types of content, with creating fashion, food, travel, beauty, lifestyle, self-care, skincare, business content, there's a lot of principles that are the same. Some of these are more visually focused and a little bit more editorial focused than others. Some of these are a little bit more storytelling focused than others. Some of these are a little bit more experience focused than others, like business, skincare, self-care. Some of these, you know, are easier to budget, you know. Some of these are harder to budget, like travel content, but all of this is doable, you guys. Your travel content doesn't have to be that you go to India. It could be that you went to New Orleans. It could be that you went to Miami or even Puerto Rico if you're affordable to go to. Your fashion content doesn't have to be that you're wearing Marc Jacobs and Yves Saint Laurent. It could be that you're going to the thrift store. Your skincare doesn't have to be that you're spending $1,000 on chemical peels and microdermabrasion. It could be that you're doing at-home remedies for skincare. Your business tips don't have to be for someone who's making $250,000. Your business tips can be that you have a 9 to 5 and you're building your side hustle. You're just showing the journey of you building your income towards a certain goal. You see what I mean? So don't think that you have to be at a certain place doing a certain thing to be able to create content. You can create content from any level, any place where you are right now. And right there on the left is Teza, my creative mom. She does a great job of mixing like editorial and blogger content, which I'll go into later. But I want to tell you guys there's different types of content, and it's okay to create different types of content, test things out. Lifestyle content is a fancy way of saying that you kind of create content for multiple different things, okay? So right now I'm going to talk about developing your brand voice and aesthetic, okay? A lot of what we're going to talk about today is aesthetic. And I talked about look good, feel good, which is my brand right now. How's your brand make people feel? Think about when I say these things, when I say how's your brand make people feel, don't just think online, think in person too. If you're someone who offers a service to people, whether you do makeup or hair, how do you make people feel? You know? How does your brand make people feel? The way you make people feel directly influences your buying power. Next thing, what does your brand make people think? What do people think influences your action power? And what does your brand look like? We're going to focus on that a lot today, right? That is your marketing power. That is people thinking, wow, your content is so beautiful that I'm going to repost it, reshare it, click like, comment, engage, you know? And all this together communicates value and authority. So one key thing you can do when you're creating your content is research different brands you like and create a brand vision aesthetic board. And you should always do that. Pinterest is your best friend. I have multiple Pinterest boards for different things. I have some for like vintage feels. I have some for modern feels. I have one called Italy vibes. I have even for clients, I create these different mood boards and boards for them on Pinterest. And if you look at them all, they have different feels. There's different colors that we're using, you know? Some might be richer, warmer tones. Some might be more, the big trend now is like nudes and olives, you know, with a lot of the like Instagram, social media blogger girls, you know? It's like research these different things, right? And when you're researching these different brands, think of maybe, I want you guys to think of like 3 brands. I don't want them to all be in the same niche. Like choose like one that's like fashion, maybe food, travel, and maybe like, or furniture, and maybe like a person. So it could be like Gucci, IKEA, and like a blogger friend that you have or a blogger that you like, right? And research these different brands or people that you like, and then create a vision or brand board based off things you learn. So when you're looking at these brands, think, how does IKEA make me feel when I walk in there? How does IKEA make me feel when I bring it to my home? How much am I willing to pay for IKEA, and why am I willing to pay that much or that little, you know? What experience do they offer me? What kind of emails does this blogger send me? How do her emails look like? What kind of copy is she using? How does she talk to her audience? Is she personalizing it? Is she generalizing it? You know, with Gucci, like why don't they offer sales? If you guys notice this, luxury brands never have sales, ever. Why don't they have sales? You know, why are they, you know, shooting all over the world? You know, just even different things like how do they write their captions? How do they launch things? How do they create experience for their fashion shows? Doing all of this will show you the various ways that you can market your content and your brand, and it will also just help you kind of center everything and then go into the drawing board and think about what you want to do with your brand. Okay, so I want to know this last one. I'm going to go over this really quick. A brand that I love is Cult Gaia. You cannot tell me nothing bad about Cult Gaia. When interviewers ask me what brand I like, I show them Cult Gaia. I don't care if the interview's for a medical company, a fashion company. I love their branding. It's clean, it's minimal, aesthetically pleasing. I just love it. You guys can research on your own. When I first found this brand, I immediately bought something. Let me show you guys what I bought. Let me show you all what I bought, okay? I immediately bought this bag. Y'all, like, they didn't have to blast my email 1,000 times. Let me tell you how much I love Colgate. I love Colgate so much that I'm subscribed to them from 2 email lists. So I get their emails to 2 different emails because I just love Colgate. I get their texts, all of that. I just love this bag. This is like the most expensive thing I feel like I've ever bought with my own money, you know? And it doesn't even fit a phone. Why did I buy it? Because I bought into their brand. I love their Instagram. I love the way they take photos. I love the way they story tell. I love their website. I love their emails. You get me? They didn't have to convince me. Even though that bag, y'all, I can't fit my phone in it. They didn't have to convince me of much. Why? Because I bought into their brand. I bought into their brand. And they're able to charge high prices for their stuff because of the quality that they're putting out. And you guys can do that too. When you start putting out really quality content, you can start charging more. It doesn't have to be that you're creating content that costs you 1,000 to create. You can still create content on a budget and charge a lot. Okay, so create a mood board. Let's look at some of like my mood boards or Pinterest boards. I'm gonna stop the video and I'm gonna go to Pinterest to stay on y'all. Okay, can you guys see my Pinterest board? I hope you can. You guys see Pinterest? If you can see it, please say so in the chat. I just want to take you through like a few Pinterest boards of mine, because with your board, you're drawing vision for what you're about to create, right? So before you can know like the amount of money to create something, or what can be done for free, what doesn't need to be done for free, or like just simple things like you might see an editorial on Pinterest you like and it has like a wine glass, and you're like, damn, that wine glass probably $40, $50. But you can get that from the thrift store for like $1. But what you need to first see is you need to see what you're creating, know what you need, and then start going through stuff and like, what clothes can I get for free? What props can I get for free? This and that. Okay, you guys can see it. Great. Okay. So I'm gonna go through like maybe 1 or 2 of these. Italy vibes, that's cute. That's a cute one. That's cute. I have a lot. I have y'all, I even make these for guys I date when I'm trying to like, when they're like asking for styling advice, I go to Pinterest and just send it to them. I have one for my 2020 brand guide. I have my birthday dinner. I have a picnic aesthetic one. I have one for my cousin's house. Let's look at that one. I have one for dinner, foods to eat at dinner. Let's go to, I have one for a brand I was working with. And then I have one Italy vibes. Computer be going slow, y'all, so give me a second, but probably should have done this one by one. But basically why I'm showing you guys this is because I'm a visual person. If you're a visual person, let me know. If you're a visual person, write 1 in the chat, because I'm a visual person. If you're talking about something to me, I need to see something, right? So because of that, I communicate best through visuals when I'm working with other people. So sometimes when you want to work with people, and I'll go over this more later, but you can't literally take what's in your head and show that, right? But what you can do is create a mood board that can kind of show them what you want to go for, the feel that you want, and that way you can convince them to like work with you for free or for a lower rate or for an exchange. You get what I'm saying? All of that comes into negotiating. With negotiating things, if you have visuals to accompany what you want to do, you know, it makes someone like, ooh, I see what you're trying to do. Let's do that, you know, versus, okay, you're just talking to me about this wine glass you want to shoot and I don't understand. You know what I mean? So this is a board I made for my cousin. Her name is Muna. She has an apartment, actually she has a condo in DC, and she now has a son, and she wants to like do things like that are a little bit more space saving and minimal. And this is what I created for her. So these are just different photos that I pulled together. There's different space-saving hacks in here. A lot of things we focused on was like minimal colors with splashes of colors and things like that. Kitchen is a big thing for her. We're West African, we love to cook. So I went to Pinterest to just kind of show her. After I showed her, she was like, girl, you hired, do this for me, help me out. Now I'm not interior decorator, but my good friend Google can help us. But I just really understand like how spaces affect your mood. She's a single mother. She has a son, you know, and I just know that during this time, like she's always around him, having a nice space would make her feel good. So we were just focusing on things that made us feel like light and clear and functional. So this board, I call it Like Woe Day. So if you guys don't know, I used to have this thing once a year for my birthday called Like Woe Day. I want to bring it back, but COVID. But it's just like a lot of like editorial content that I like, things that are kind of like shot weird and this and that, things that are very colorful, things that are very flamboyant, things that are very extravagant and extra. So I post a lot of that stuff in here. I really like vintage edits. I like those things. I like robes. I like jewel tones. All of that's here, okay? And then, and how many of you guys have a Pinterest board? If you have a Pinterest board, type 2 in the chat. Okay, this one is called Dinner Time, right? So if you guys don't know, I love food. I'm a foodie. My dad's actually a chef. And I grew up around food a lot. But one thing my dad taught me and that I want to teach you guys is that with food, he said, it's not just about how the food tastes, it's about how the food is presented. My dad taught me at a very young age, when he taught me how to cook, he said, how the food is presented determines how people receive the food. And as I grew older, that never, ever got in my mind. And it made me realize the same thing with everything. However you present things is how people will digest or feel like receiving that thing that you created, you know? So this is called Dinner Time. I love food editorials. So I post a lot of like food blogger-ish stuff, food editorial stuff in here. It's my go-to when I choose to shoot food photos and stuff like that. I just love it, the way everything looks. I love the way the jewelry is. I love the way the hand poses are. I look at all of that stuff. I look at the makeup. I look at, are they actually eating? Are they just posing? So that's another one. I'm gonna show you guys two more. Let's just get back into the stuff. So this is a brand that I created a mood board for, but this isn't an actual mood board. This is just like the Pinterest board. This is the mood board, but I also have another mood board I created for them. But I'm just gonna show you guys this. A lot of the colors, it's for cigar brand. A lot of the colors you guys see are like rich tones. Ignore some of these stuff. Some of these stuff the owner put there, but from here on, these are all my things I put there. So you guys can see it's very, 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 very rich colors, rich tones, editorial feels, editorial vibes, flat lays, okay? And last but not least, I have this Pinterest board called Italy Vibes. Just pretty pictures that remind me of Italy. I love Italy, you guys don't know. So just pretty pictures of that, okay? So I'm going to see what you guys said about, okay, so a lot of you guys, yes, a lot of you guys are visual. Everyone here is a visual person. And a lot of you guys have Pinterest boards. Let's get back into the presentation. So we looked at my boards. Okay, does anyone have any questions at this point about what I just talked about before we get into some other things? I'll take 2 questions about what I just talked about. If not, we can move on. Okay, if we have no questions, I'm going to continue. Okay, cool. Okay. So I want to show you guys some behind the scenes. You know what, with this workshop, I was thinking like, what's the best way for me to show them ugly budget pretty content? And I was like, with my content from when I had an ugly budget. So we're gonna go to my blog, okay? Okay, Okay, we're gonna go to my blog. I'm gonna show you guys just maybe 1 or 2 blog posts. If I can show you an extra one, I can. I want to go through this because we have so much more to go through. We have like 44 slides and we're like at 12, but we're doing good. Don't worry. Okay, I want to show you guys. So this is my fashion blog. If you guys did not know, I have a fashion blog. Yay! Okay, I'm gonna just choose 3. I'm already gonna go over the gold one later. Let's go over. Okay, there's that one. Let's do this one, African blonde. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over kind of the process of creating this. And okay, if you guys, for this section, if you have any questions about anything that I've created that I'm showing you, write it down in the chat and I'll go over those. That will help me kind of see what to tell you guys about this part. I'm gonna go over just a few blog posts that I've done. So this was a budget-friendly blog post. I did my own makeup. The hair was from my hair brand, Lifeful Wigs, and the photographer did it for an exchange, right? So we have like a very great business relationship, him and I, and it was like, okay, you do this for me, I do this for you type thing. But also, just to really be honest, he's just my friend and he just wants to see me win. So if you find people like that, it's really hard to find people like that. Just, stick to them and help them out in any way that they need, But with this photographer and whatnot, at this time, the main thing I was struggling with was I did not have clothes. Like I did not have clothes to create when I was to create, right? But let me tell you how you can use what you already have around you to build. You guys need to be using everything you can, everyone you can, as bad as that sounds, and everything you know to create what you want to see, right? When I say that, with everything you can, whether it's going to the thrift store, pulling clothes, right? Whether it's borrowing clothes from friends. Okay, I'm so serious. Even down to, I have to say this, buying clothes from Nordstrom's and returning the clothes because Nordstrom doesn't care. Okay, you need to be doing that to create. Okay, if it's even buying clothes from Amazon, returning the clothes because Amazon doesn't care. You have Amazon Pride. Or is it subscribing to Rent the Runway and renting some clothes and returning them back? Okay, you need to figure it out. If it's asking your mom for an old vintage fur coat and shooting it, you need to figure it out in the beginning, right? You don't, in the beginning is not the time to think of, oh, I need to wear Louis Vuitton and Fendi and Gucci and buy it. You need to think of what are the free ways that I can gather what I need to create, okay? So with me, I'm very, very like resourceful, right? So with this time in my life, I had only one client, right? I had graduated from college and I had started freelancing. I only had one client, you guys. One client, right? And it was actually a fashion brand that I had done retail for while I was in school. I pitched to them, hey, can I be your social media manager, right? And they were like, sure. Actually, they weren't like sure, but the one of the people in there was like, bruh, like we need her because she's young and hip. The person we have kind of now is not young and hip. But what happened, luckily, he was able to convince his mom to let me run the social media because the other person went on maternity leave. Great. So they had a lot of clothes, a lot of African clothes, right? And so I had to shoot content for it anyway for social media. So I was like, why not use their clothes in shoots, right? With me, with models, and post it on my page and their page, in addition to the other content I was already doing for them, So all these clothes I'm wearing they were free because I was already working with a brand that had clothes. You get me? At this time, if I'm honest with you guys, at this time, I was not making that much money. Okay? Like the good thing was my rent was cheap. The good thing was my friend taught me for free. I knew how to do my own makeup. Clothes are free. But I was not, and I didn't have to pay student loans at that time. But I wasn't making like when I compare it to like what I was making like in New York working like corporate and stuff, like you cannot even compare the two budgets. I cannot even believe I lived off of that amount of money. So I still was able to create beautiful content this way. This belt that you see in the middle is from the thrift store. This necklace is from Forever 21. I'd already had it. We just went to his house and we shot outside. These glasses, my friend actually gave them to me. I liked them so much. She was like, girl, you could have them. And the shoes, you can't see them in there, but the shoes that I'm wearing, a brand gifted them to me. So that's the thing. You can pitch to brands to borrow clothes or to have clothes and to shoot them. Once you start creating a lot of content like this, it'll be easier and easier to get brands and people to shoot with you. But those first like 3 to like 10 things that you create, you won't have to really get in the mud and go hard in the paint and figure it out. Okay. If you guys have any questions about this, just write it in the chat because I'm going to I'll answer it. Let's do maybe one more and then let's get back into the presentation. Okay, let's talk about when I had a little bit more of a budget. I think that would be a good one to do. Let's do, these two are the same day. So, let's do these. They're the same day anyway. Okay, so in this shoot, I had more of a budget, right? But I was still being budget conscious, okay? So with this one, excuse me, this dress is a dress that I got from eBay for like $50, literally. The hair is hair from my own brand, like Well Wigs. The jewelry, y'all, I get a lot of my jewelry for shoots, y'all. It's honestly just from the beauty supply store, it'd be like $1 to $3. And the purse, I got that from like AliExpress or eBay or something like that. So when you're looking at this photo, you guys, it's not just the outfit I'm wearing that stands out and the hair and all that, it's also the location. Locations are a great way to elevate your content, right? We didn't pay for this location. It was free. Of course, we had to sneak in there. I'm not gonna lie, we snuck in there. But you guys, it just elevated this whole photo shoot to make it look like $1 million. Versus if we would have shot this, you know, just at, you know, a regular park or somewhere, it probably wouldn't look as regal as it does here. So another way to create pretty content with an ugly budget is to let your location do the heavy lifting for you. Let your location look beautiful, you know, and that will really help, you know, make your content look pretty. So then that same day, right, this is all the same day what I'm showing you. The next look was this outfit. And this outfit, it's a cat suit. I probably found it on eBay or AliExpress. My hair, again, like Well Wigs. Okay. What else do I want to, I'm going to find something else I want to ask you guys. Okay. So makeup. Do you guys think I did my makeup myself or did someone else do it? And then with my nails, do you guys think that they're press-ons or I got them done? That's your question. Yes, in the chat. I'll guess. So with the makeup, do you guys think I did it myself or someone else did it? And with the nails, do you guys think that I got them done or are they press-ons? Okay. Someone said they think the nails are press-ons and they think that I did makeup myself. Isaiah said I did it all myself. Okay, Isaiah, thank you. You believe in me like that? Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna let if one more person guesses, that's cool. If not, I'm about to say it. Okay, NC said I would say press-ons because you said all your shoots you use press-ons and makeup by yourself. Okay, okay, that's funny. Wait, when did I say that? Probably in another workshop. That's funny. That is so hilarious. Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all what. Okay, so the makeup was actually done by someone else, but it was for free. So there was a girl who did makeup, and I already had other content at this point, right? I already created other content, right? And basically, she was like, "Oh, girl, I love the collab." So she came to my friend's house. Okay, so this shoot, I lived in Atlanta, but I flew to DC just for this shoot. So you see, your girl had more money. She was able to fly now. She was flying to DC for a shoot. Okay, flew to DC to shoot. It was, remember, it was January, beginning of the year. I think it was like 2018 or something like that, 2017. And I shot with Tayo. Tayo and I did an exchange. It was just kind of like, at that time he was beginning photography. Actually, he had already kind of done stuff, but he wanted to shoot editorials, right? So here's the key, right? There's photographers that you really want to shoot with and you think you can, right? Let me be honest, right? My favorite photographer to shoot with and photographer I shoot with the most is my favorite photographer to shoot with. I've been blessed that a lot of my favorite photographers to shoot with, they see something in me that they're like, I'll shoot. And the main thing that I feel like Tayo and Benny see in me is that they're like, this girl likes to create editorials, right? And like editorials with like afros and like a little bit of black girl magic in them. And they both love editorials. So when you pitch to someone that's something that they really like or just want to do, they're more inclined to be like, okay, we can negotiate here or there, you know? And so with Benny, it was a thing of like, that photographer, it was like, you're the only person who I get to shoot fashion stuff with. Everyone else is like nudes, earthy stuff, you know? So with this, the girl did my makeup. She saw my other photos before, and she's like, girl, I would love to. You know, she did my makeup. I showed her the outfit. She's like, girl, I'm all here for it. And I showed her the photographer's work as well. With the nails are press-ons. Okay, I like wearing press-ons for shoots. Why? Because if you're shooting a lot of different outfits, to me, the nails really make a huge difference. And Tayo and I were talking about this because Tayo loved these nails, right? And to me, like, if I'm wearing pink, I want the nails to look one way. If I'm wearing like jewel tones, I want the nails to look another way. And if I'm shooting, like, I don't have time or even the money to be taking my nails off every other week or every week just to shoot different colors. Let's be real, right? So for me, personally, because I can shoot today one outfit or two outfits with these press-ons, the next day take them off to do this one. And then even that's when I get my nails done, right? My nails were actually just done. If y'all saw me in New York, my nails were actually just done. But that nail place was crap, but that's a whole other story. But I took them off because one, they were crap, but two, I'm about to shoot, and actually with these press-ons, they're very expensive press-ons I got. I have these press-ons that are like really long, like Rihanna had these really long press-ons, and I pay for them for a girl, but I knew that I was about to go to the nail salon and pay for that because there's no way I'm going to walk around the house with nails this long every single day. You know what I mean? And so press-ons, they're just efficient. They're efficient. Of course, you need to plan your nails around them. You know, like I can't get my nails done until I do this shoot and take the press-ons off. But yeah, those are press-ons. Okay. This bodysuit maybe like $20. Those shoes from eBay too. Props. This is like something from the dollar store, something like a mirror, hand mirror, sorry y'all. And I spray painted it gold, okay? I got contacts for this shoot. This is not edited. I actually wore blue contacts for this shoot. You see how Tayo's able to edit the colors so beautifully? Want to think about the fabric you're shooting, right? When you have an ugly budget, you have to create pretty content, the types of fabrics that you choose to use, like velvet, linen, it all makes a difference because when it's edited, it looks a certain way. And this is really it. Like you see the hair is very luscious, the background goes perfectly, the lighting is great. And here you can really see the makeup, the nails, the jewelry, the props, the clothes, the background, how it all comes together in this photo. Okay, cool. Let's get back into our slides. Oh, and another thing, when it comes to makeup, of course you can do it yourself, but if you get someone to do it for you for free too and just exchange, do that too. Please, you guys, when you're collaborating with other creatives, make sure you tag people. I just find it very disrespectful when people don't tag people, especially when people do something for you for free. Tag the whole team, y'all. It's not going to take away from your shine. It's going to just help everybody win. If we each have 500 followers each, right? And we all come together, 5 people. Now we've reached 2,500 people, whereas me by myself, I'm only reaching 500 people. When you don't tag people, it makes them not want to tag you too. You know, it makes them not want to work with you again. Okay. I had experience where I did a lot of stuff for a shoot. Like I creative directed, I styled, I told the makeup person what to do. You know, I brought the hair, I brought the nails, the jewelry, and the person didn't tag me on a post somewhere, and the post had gone viral, and they didn't tag me. And thank God, one of my film sisters was like, "Isn't this Fennell's work?" And they're like, "I know because Fennell's the only person who uses these nails, this hair, and these rings, you know." But it kind of made me like, will I work with this person again? Maybe, but it can put a bad taste in your mouth when people don't tag you, especially when you guys all came together and did it for free for each other, you know? Okay. Now, do you guys have any questions about what I just, actually no questions yet. Let's talk about creating your at-home studio because this is a major part. How many of you guys are interested in creating your own at-home studio? If you are, type 1, type me, or type, I don't know. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And oh yeah, what do you want to use a studio for if you're creating one at home? Okay, Isaiah said self-portraits and editorials. Yes, I can't wait to talk about editorials in this. Even though we just talked about some editorials, I showed y'all editorials. If y'all don't know, editorials are my freaking heartbeat, but they cost a lot. But I feel like I've mastered how to do them on a budget. Okay, so let's get into this. Create your own at-home studio. Okay, so if you guys don't know, story time. When I graduated from college, I had an apartment. It had like 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. I had one roommate, or whatever. And I decided to turn the living room into a studio because we were not using the living room at all. And I had also one time I had to quit my waitressing job, and I was just creating content in the studio and stuff like that. I use the studio to record. I let other people come in and use the studio too. Sometimes they would, they would pay sometimes. I also just I just love the studio. I just love being in there. So with the at-home studio, right, it can be done. I am not any better than you guys, okay? At that time of my life, I had graduated from college, and in college, I was a multimedia lab specialist. So I learned a lot from my manager about like the technical side of creating. So you're talking about like ISO, aperture, cameras, lighting, settings, things like that. Things that creatives were just like, let the photographer do that, you know? And basically, one thing I got was, wow, he basically told me like, girl, you could do this yourself, right? So it can be done. You can create your own studio. Look up tutorials, right? There's a lot of tutorials on YouTube. There's one by Shameless Maya that's amazing about how to do this. Start with a few items and then build. You don't have to have a backdrop yet. You can start off with just the lighting and set up chairs and different props and shoot that way. You don't even have to have the lighting yet. You can start with the backdrops, right? And you can use natural light and this and that to shoot. You don't have to have a camera. You can rent a camera. Cameras can be rented, or you can buy used cameras. You can use fabric as your backdrop, you know? You also ask someone to help you set it up, you guys. I'm sure your friends would love to help you set it up, you know? You can also shoot with your iPhone. So you guys, check your email for a list of the equipment you need to do this. I sent you guys an email with all the equipment that I've used to create my own studio at home, or even like what I'm doing now. Like right in front of me right now is a ring light. I have more stuff under my bed. Literally, I have camera equipment under my bed. I have paper over here. I have this table, this chair. I have a bunch of different things, remote, all of that. And I linked all that for you guys. Um, that will really, really help you guys. Look at the reviews, all of that. You know, if you just want, maybe I want a different type of lighting or this or that, but I linked ring lights, all of that. I just want you guys to get from this part of the workshop that it can be done. That's what I want you guys to get from it. So here are some of the keys with doing this, right? Your keys are your before, your during, your after when you're thinking about this type of content, right? So before you're creating, and just even with like, creating in studio, even outside of a studio, you want to hone in on your concept. That's where you get into the mood board, right? The props, you need those things. And your background. We're talking about location scouting, right? If you need to book an Airbnb to do your shoot, do it. If you go to someone's house that's your friend and really like a part of their house, say, hey, do you mind if I shoot here? Ask, you know? If you ask, they say no, at least you tried, right? Creating your background, you can go to the thrift store and get furniture, use it, create it, then go back and resell it again to a vintage store or on Craigslist. Next, during you want to focus on your lighting and your product placement, right? So when you're shooting, you don't want to shoot like in horrible lighting, a lot of vloggers that you look at, we're shooting in the daytime. We love that natural light. With shooting with lighting, there's different times that you should shoot, right? And there's the time what we call the golden hour. Write that down. In photography, the golden hour is when you get this beautiful golden light from the sun, It's around sunrise and it's also around sunset. Product placement. If you want to work with brands, You need to study product placement. Point blank period. Write that down. You need to study product placement, okay? Because brands are paying you right now to create content that has product placement. That they can take your product and place it in your shoot. If they're not seeing that on your feed, they're not looking at you as someone they can collab with. You get what I mean? So like if you have like earrings, this and that, makeup, lotion, skincare products, and you're incorporating those things into your shoots, then product placement is what brands are looking for, you know? I always tell people that if you want to start working with skincare brands or this or that, buy some skincare products and review them. Buy some skincare products and shoot them. Buy the stuff first and create content that looks like it's sponsored. Now, don't go right that it's sponsored and it's not sponsored. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is create content that's like sponsored, but it's not, okay? And then after, you want to focus on your editing and curation, which we'll get into later. All of that affects how your shoot is. If you mess up on one of these parts, it can ruin the whole shoot. Doing these things well, your post, your production, your pre-production, is not dependent on how much money you have. It's dependent on how excellent you want to be, okay? Because you can go to the thrift store and get fabric and shoot a background. You can buy lights for like $100. You can save $50 over 2 months and buy the lights. You can use natural light outside. You can hang a curtain in your backyard and shoot outside. You get me? So figure it out. You can shoot content with Polaroids, with film cameras. Like where there's a will, there's a way. So you want to make sure you do these well, because I know some people are really good at either the before, the during, or the after, but they're not good at every single one. Get good at every single one. It will help you a lot. Okay, do we have any questions about the studio, about the equipment, about shooting? Also, you guys, there's different types of lighting. There's like soft boxes for like really good deals and stuff. I sent you the links to them. But also remember, you guys, you can also use natural light. You don't need all the lighting, all the equipment that I put on there. Unless you want to, if you can afford it, you know? But just start off every month, just say every month I'm gonna buy one thing with my budget, you know? Or I'm gonna start off with what I have and the tips that it gave me, and then I'm gonna see, okay, if I add this light, maybe it will help better. But do you guys have any questions about creating your own home studio? I'll take 1 or 2 questions and then continue. Okay, if you have no questions, I'll give it 30 seconds. Okay, so I have one question. That's the only one I'll take. NC asks, when creating a home studio, where's the best location to do it? I would say wherever you get the best light. The best light. If you're doing video, it's wherever you get the least noise. If you're doing photo, it's wherever you get the best light. Okay. So let's talk about collaborating with other creatives. Yeah. Whew. My wig is feeling tight right now. There's so much information in my mind. Let's talk about creating with other creatives, okay? Okay. This photo shoot, if you guys have been following, if you're an OG follower, this is like my first like shoot that went viral ever. It was called Assassins. It was shot with Jawanza and Benny. Okay, Jawanza's the guy in the photo. So with this, I collaborated with them. I want to explain something to you. This collab happened very organically. It was not forced, okay? Not saying that you can't force collabs, you can. I definitely did write Tayo, hey, I'd love to shoot with you. And he's like, sure. But even with Tayo actually knew my brother. They actually were raised together. My brother, my cousin, I say brother's from African. And that helped me. Tayo was like, oh yeah, we can shoot, you know? And Tayo also saw that I had shot with Benny, and Tayo liked Benny's work, so it all helped. But with this shoot, this one was the first times I would feel like I really collabed with people on like a shoot. And so with this shoot, I just remember it being like I'd already met Jawanza here and there, and he just liked my look. Like I was already very stylish, this and that. So that's what I'm talking about, your brand in person being lit. Remember, because when your brand in person is lit, people are gonna be like, ooh, like they're cool, they're lit. Let me, you know, see how I can work with them. So Jawanza's a creative. He had this idea of a shoot, and he hit me up. He's like, yo, sis, I'm gonna do this shoot where we'll be like some assassins and da-da. At this time, like I thought Jawanza was so lit. And apparently he thought I was so lit, right? And we were really like creative leaders on our campuses. He was like a creative leader at Clark. I was a creative leader like at Spelman. And we just both like just vibed really well together. And it was within like a month, we were like brother and sister, right? And so he's just like, yo, I have this shoot idea. We're gonna be some assassins, like some Black Panther type assassins. I was like, okay, cool, cool, cool. So I'm thinking dashiki, afro, right? And then he saw this dress. He's like, that's the dress. I'm like, that's some Black Panther assassins. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I get this message from this page. It's a page that has like a lot of Jawanza's photos and his friend's photos. I thought it was Jawanza and his friend, right? So this page writes me at the same time where Jawanza's talking about this shoot. This page, Jawanza, let me just say for story's sake, Jawanza writes me from his Instagram page. He writes me like, I want to shoot with you. And he writes, I have a picture of a selfie with this hair. And he's like, Lord Jesus and all his 12 disciples, please let me take a picture of you with this golden hair. And so at this point, I'm like laughing because it was funny, but I'm also like, why is Jawanza texting me about this shoot and we talk about it on the phone? And why is he also writing me on Instagram about the same shoot? Like, yeah, I was thinking maybe he has two personalities. I didn't know. Okay, not knowing that Jawanza was talking to me, but it was someone else writing me. It's just that on their page, they're a photographer. They didn't have their face. They just had so many pictures of Jawanza and Jawanza's friends that I thought that it was Jawanza's page, like his other page or whatever. So the person was actually a photographer named Benny Roosevelt. And so when I realized it was a different person, I was like, oh, I was like, what? And so ironically, everything worked well because Benny wanted to shoot me and I kept kind of flaking because I was just so busy at the time. And Jawanza wanted to work with me too. That just worked together. That Jawanza actually already knew Benny, and Jawanza wanted Benny to shoot this whole assassins thing. Benny wanted to shoot me with the golden hair. I wore the golden hair, and basically it was just an organic collab. Everybody got what they wanted to get done, right? Jawanza brought the props. He saw himself. He told me bring some cool glasses. I brought the cool glasses. Y'all, this shoot, I'm not even really wearing makeup in this. Only wearing a little foundation, eyeliner, mascara, and lip gloss. And literally, I beat my face to the gods for this shoot. And when they FaceTime me, then he was like, wash it all off. And I was like, I just spent like an hour doing my makeup. He's like, yeah, that's what we're going for. We're going for like natural. So we do this shoot. I'm wearing some like really tall gun hills. I'm like almost falling and stuff. The minute they post this, it goes viral. My followers go up and everything, right? And it was so organic. It was so like, don't come with too much makeup. Just wear that black dress, glasses. We're going to pick you up. Let's go shoot. And we just drove a car and went to the middle of nowhere and just shot while we're all in college. No budget. We weren't even talking about a budget. It was just get what's in your closet and let's shoot. No budget at all. Now, let's talk about, okay, anybody have any questions about collaborating with other people? Write it in there. I'll answer all the questions at once later. If you have any questions throughout any of this, just write in there. I'll look back on it and answer it. Now let's talk about finding a photographer and pulling clothes because I do want to go on a quick break. How to find a photographer, you guys. Get on Instagram, search NYC photographer, search the hashtag DC photographer. You know, look at people whose content you like and see who they're shooting with and hit those people up. You know, what else? Ask your followers. I used to always post tag photographers in Atlanta, tag photographers in DC. I used to always post that on my feed, you know. Go through even my posts, see who I'm shooting with, you know. Ask people their rates. Ask people if they want to collab, you know. Find upcoming photographers, you know, things like that. But that's really how you find photographers. Also, you guys, a big thing is look good in person and go out. When photographers, really good photographers, they have like an eye. Everywhere they go, their eye is there. If they see you at a restaurant, you stand out, they're gonna ask you to shoot. If they see you at a party, you stand out, they're gonna ask you to shoot. You know what I'm saying? And literally, multiple times this happened to me. I've been places, right? And I've just had my face beat looking cute. Like this happened to me like twice. One time it was at Market Friday or Wednesday in college. And if you guys, I don't know if you guys know Ahmad Barber, he's a really good photographer. And I remember one day I'm just standing at Market Friday or Hump Wednesday, and he just looks at me, he's like, gosh, Manella's so beautiful. And I'm like, what? And it just made me think like, wow, if he thinks I'm so beautiful, he would love to shoot me, you know? But just, you want people to look at you and think this type of things, because then they're like, oh, I need to shoot her. Or even like, wow, she puts her content together so well. Wow, he's a dope stylist. Wow, she's really good at lifestyle content. Oh, she's so consistent. Then they'll just be more inclined to shoot with you. Another time, this is recently, I was in New York, and this guy was there. I didn't know he was a photographer at all. And I was with my friend, and the guy, he was just like, oh my gosh, her bone structure is just amazing. I'm like, who you talking about? He's like, you. I was like, oh. And then when he left, my friend was like, you know what that is? I was like, no. He's like, that's so and so. He showed me a picture. I was like, oh my gosh, I actually follow him. I love his work. He was like, whoa, if he said that about you, he would shoot you, you know? But like, that is the way you get people to want to shoot you, you know? Even the person in front of you guys are looking at my screen right now, the girl on the left, Adama, right? It was so smooth for me to convince the photographer to shoot her. I was like, yo, we've been shooting me a lot. Let's shoot her. She has beautiful skin. She photographs very well, you know, and she's on the come up just like us, you know. Also, she was just very willing to take direction. She was very open to ideas. You know, she was just a really easy person to work with. I recommend her to all of you, you know. On the right, we have me. This shoot, I actually was styled by the photographer, and I wrote tag NYC photographers, and then I messaged each other. In fact, we're still cool to this day. We talk on the phone, all of that. And his name is Kevin, and he was like, okay, he's like, I want to style you in these clothes. What do you think? And he sent me the brand. I was like, yeah, sure. So I came to the shoot. I got there before him. I did my makeup in the bathroom, and he brought the clothes. I changed into them, and then we just shot right then and there. You know, this was, I think, what was one of the first posts I posted that got like 1,000 likes. Was this actual photo on the right? I brought my own wig. I always try to incorporate my own brand into what I'm shooting. So with that said, two things. The one on the left, that whole bikini suit is from that brand I was working with, the clothing brand I told you guys about. I got that for free from them because I was shooting their content anyway. The one on the right, the photographer pulled that from the brand that he knew, and they wanted content, and they saw me, they thought it was cute. They're like, okay, you can shoot on her. You get me? But we didn't pay for these clothes. Now the girl on the left, she has those gacho pants. I got them from the thrift store for like $10. Okay, and those heels are my gun heels that I already had. Okay, so it's not like you get things. Some of this when you're creating, you get some things for free. Some things you buy, and some things you already have, and you combine it all together. You don't have to buy all new things for your shoots. Okay, so with pulling clothes from brands, I actually have a guide on my site. I'll link it. I'm gonna give you guys a follow-up email to this whole workshop, and I teach you step to step what to do, what to say to brands to get close. Actually, I write the whole thing for you. Just copy and paste it and insert your name, okay? But basically, you offer value in exchange for value. You get me? So it's kind of like you're like, hey, like, you know, you show them your work. This works best when you already have work. That's why I say you need to do about 3 to 10 shoots where you're just in the trenches figuring it out, and then you can start pitching to brands, more photographers, and more people to pull stuff. You get me? Once I started having all this content, it was so easy to get clothes. Yo, it's so easy. Like I can even tell y'all a story. Like there were some really dope, amazing glasses I saw that they're like hundreds of dollars, and I wrote, I need to have this, and the lady followed me. She liked my content, and I was like, hey, how much for this? And she was like, show me how much it was. And I was like, okay, cool. It's a couple $100. I was like, okay, whatever, cool. I was like, I'll probably get that for a shoot. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna wear it once, and then I was kind of like, what about? I don't know. She wrote me back. She was like, girl, she's like, if you can give these glasses a nice home and shoot the way you shoot with these, she's like, I'm gonna mail them to you for free. In fact, she's mailing them to me for free right now from Europe. Okay, and they're like $200 glasses, right? But also, like the glasses are kind of glasses like they're statement glasses. The way she made them, they're not gonna probably last forever. So she's like, I'm just giving it to you for free. Just she's like, I love the content that you shoot. I love the way you see fashion. You get me? But like, you have to start, you know, creating to get to that point. Okay, a big part of a lot of things that I give people my paid products, like about how to get free clothes or how to get into Fashion Week. A big part of it that I think a lot of people need to understand is building your brand. Once you're building your brand and you're creating your content, it's easier to get closer free. It's easier to get into Fashion Week. Okay, it's easier to just get things done. Okay, do we have any questions? We're halfway done with the slides, but the rest of it is not that long. I'll give you guys like 30 seconds for any questions about what I said, about finding a photographer, collaborating, and about pulling clothes, or anything else you can write in there too. Okay, if no questions, I'm gonna keep going. Also, if you join us a little bit later, there will be a replay. Just letting you guys all know. Okay, I was gonna do a break. If you guys still want to do a break, 10-minute break, or do you guys want to continue? So you have about 40 minutes left, and I have about, I feel like 35, 40 minutes of teaching left. So let me know if you guys want to do a break or just keep going, and I'll just go with the majority. And if you want to take a break, if majority says that they don't want to take a break, I'll keep going, and whoever wants to take a break can take a break and just go back in the replay. But yes or no to the break? You guys want to take a break or not? I'm gonna get my waters right here. Just let me know in the chat if you guys want a break or if you guys don't want a break. Okay, Isaiah said break. London said no break. So we have one break, one no break. Chanel said break. Okay, Chanel said break. I need to break. One said no break. Anyone else want to vote if we need a break or not? And I said break. Okay, I'll let like one more person. Let's see who else. Break or no break? Okay, so NC said no break. Okay, so we're gonna just take a break. It's gonna be a 10-minute break, and then we'll be back here at 2:30. So get some water if you need some. Look over your notes, write any questions you may have down, and I will be right back with you guys. Okay. Okay, I hope everyone's back. I'm about to share my screen again. Hope y'all are back and better. Okay, I hope you guys are back. Okay. What y'all do during break? Can you hear me? London, you said you can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. London said she couldn't hear me. London, can you hear me now? Okay, cool. Cooking okra soup. Okay, cool. I was talking to my baby. Like, look at this wig. Okay. That's really what I was doing though. But let me see. Let's present. Okay, I'm gonna try to go through this fast because y'all we're only halfway through the slides and we have 30 minutes left. Okay, so like I thought this was gonna be too short. I was like, it's going to be too short. You're gonna feel like I was like, watch this be too long. Okay. Let's talk about content. This is like the meat of the workshop, the gem part. I mean, everything else is gems too. But a lot of what I was saying before is to just get those things out your mind, like truly free your mind when it comes to creating content. Content is king. Let's talk about editorial versus blogger. Okay. If y'all know me, which one do y'all think I like more? Which one do you guys think I like more? Do I like editorial or do I like blogger more? Do I like editorial or do I like blogger more? I'm going to talk about the two, okay? So editorials, you guys see what those are on the left, and on the right, we see that blogger content. Look at these Black girl magic bloggers looking fly, living their life out in the streets, you know, doing stuff. Oh, all y'all said I like editorial more. Yes, I like editorial more. I'm gonna say that blogger gets you paid, you know, it gets you paid, but editorial, it makes my heart beat. Like it makes my heart beat. It literally makes my heart beat. I will spend an arm and a leg. I will figure it out. I will ask everybody to help me create an editorial. But when it I hear someone. Yeah, but when it comes to blogger content, it's just like I don't know, it's like a thing of like, okay, this is what everybody's doing now, we have to do it kind of to get paid. But you know, I'm trying to merge the two together and still create some editorials on my own. Okay, so that's where I am now in my creative process too. Okay, let's talk about the difference. Okay, actually, let's go back. What are some of the differences you guys think between blogger content and editorial content? And which one do you guys like more for yourself, for your brand? Let me just go into it. So let's talk about editorial content first. Okay. Or let's just talk about both. Okay, so editorial content, you're usually going to be working with a team, model, photographer, stylist, hair, makeup, choreographer, etc. Whereas blogging content, you're usually working with just a photographer and a blogger. Editorials, it can usually be multiple subjects, whereas bloggers usually one subject. Editorials usually like a vibe and experience, where bloggers usually like a vibe, and the vibe is like your life. With editorial, you're usually paying for this, or you're getting paid to do this for others. And then with blogger content, brands are usually paying for this, okay? And it incorporates product placement. That's very important. And then with editorial, it's usually high fashion clothing, whereas with blogger content, it's usually everyday clothing. Blogger content mimics real life and like real life poses, like you actually eating, you actually walking, like in the moment poses. Whereas editorial, it mimics like a dream life. Like you see me with the like, you know, mirror with the wine glass. It's mimicking a dream life. Where both of them, the location matters, but A blogger location, you might just be like, oh, this place is really cute. I passed last time. Let's just go there to shoot. With editorial, you might like really take some time to scout a little bit more. Not that bloggers don't. Bloggers do take time to scout your locations. But editorial, people might actually rent out a location, you know? And not saying that bloggers don't. Bloggers do rent out hotels sometimes, you know, to do their shoot. But I'm just saying editorial, you might have a location and then you have your makeup person there, your photographer there, your styler there with the stylist there with their steamer, with their clothing rack. And then when you get into the blogger content, it's usually edited with presets. It can be edited on your phone. And with a editorial content, it's usually edited by a professional retoucher. And with the blogger, it usually, the caption will sound like a commercial, whereas the editorial caption might sound a little bit different, okay? Okay, we got through that. Okay, as you can see through these photos, one is more editorial, one is more blogger. As you can see with the photo on the left, I am posing like, oh, I'm lavish, you know, I'm sitting somewhere. I'm not selling you a product per se, you know, I'm just selling you a vibe and experience and probably the dress, maybe the hair, you know, maybe that, but I'm not like holding a lipstick in my hand or, you know what I mean? You can also see with the editing, the way the skin looks, everything is very, very edited, retouched, things like that. I'm not trying to be like, hi, I'm smiling, I'm happy. It's just like, feel the vibe, okay? On the right, we have me as like a blogger, okay? I'm at a restaurant, there's food in front of me. I'm actually eating at a restaurant, which everybody, people, I hope you guys, I mean, well, not during COVID, we eat at restaurants. I'm holding the glass in my hand. I'm real life eating, you know? I'm smiling, you know? I'm looking at you. I'm selling a happy vibe, you know? With this, I reached out to a restaurant called Boulevard Bistro in Harlem, New York, and they allowed me to come there and shoot some content and shoot some food. You get me? So with that, I just kind of like, you want to like see what's around you. If you're Black, you know, Black owned things, you should look out for Black influencers. Like, hey, can I come by, you know, and shoot some food and also shoot some blog photos and post it and I'll tag y'all. You might be like, yes, and I'd be like, no. Most times they're like either yes or they just don't respond. People usually never respond to this and just say no. With that, also, you can also go to a restaurant and pay for the food yourself and shoot it too, okay? You can even just get a little dessert and a wine, you know, and shoot that. I've done that as well. Let's talk about content then and now, okay? You guys, wait, if you guys have any questions, just write it in there as I'm going through this stuff and I will look at it. So with content then and now, okay? Guys, this is the exact same like outfit, same hair, shot two completely different ways. And I want you guys to get this. I want you guys to write this down. This is one of the best creative tips I've ever gotten from like anyone about photography and content. My friend, my good friend Benny Rose, who shot the photo on the right with the wine glass, it's gone viral everywhere. He said this. He said, a lot of times people always ask him like, how are you so good at photography? How do you do what you do? He was like, the thing about it is, he's like, it's not about what you see, right? He said, it's not about what you see, it's about how you perceive what you see. He was like, we can both be in the same room in front of the same model and see two different things and capture it two different ways and then go edit two different ways. He's like, but it's about what are you seeing? He was like, you have to like train your eye to see certain things. So like someone can see a bush and be like, oh, that's just a bush. Someone else can see, oh, that bush, the girl wearing like red outfit would look so amazing, you know? It's about how you perceive what you see. I can give you a real life example. One time I was actually shooting with two photographers. Well, one was really shooting me. He brought someone else like to apprentice and watch him. And they're both shooting the same outfit. One photographer's stuff I used, the other one, I don't even have the photo saved. Why? Because one photographer captured me in a way that was just very amazing. The other one, it wasn't really doing the storytelling stuff. And can you believe the one that I didn't even keep the photos or even want the photos from, that they were like, oh, pose like this, do this, ooh, do this. And the other guy would be like, just do this. And I'd do it. And they'd be like, boom, got it. You see? Because that photographer, what was Benny? He was more focused on like how he was perceiving what he saw. He perceives what he sees because he's trained his eye. How do you train your eye, y'all? Watch documentaries, okay? Look at magazines, you know? Go outside, travel, go to different spaces, go to different restaurants, you know? Go to restaurants just for the way they look, for the ambiance. Look at how people plate the food, you know, in photos when you're looking at those restaurants. Look at how they present the food to you when you go out to eat, you know, when you go into stores. Like, how is H&M look different than Old Navy? How does a thrift store look versus going into Zara? Look at all of that. Train your eye, you guys. Pinterest, Tumblr, following people that have inspirational accounts. That is how you train your eye. With this photo, right? This was taken actually before this whole gold photo went by, the photo on the left. And it was my birthday, and my friend just took a photo of me, boom. And I remember Benny commented, he was like, the photographer, he commented, he was like, of the photo on the right, he was like, sheesh. And I was like, what? He was like, you're so stunning. He was like, but the person took the photo wrong. Fast forward 6 months later, quit my job. Didn't have money, whatever. We decided, let's just shoot. No budget at all. I was so like financially like not there that the photographer had to Uber me to the shoot. My friend had to pick me up and take me home. Okay. My makeup was like almost like all done. Like, you know, your makeup is like done and like you should throw it away, but you're like, let me get a little bit out of it. That's how my makeup was. Okay. I did my own makeup. I got my own wigs, Michael wigs. I had a wine glass I had thrifted. It was like $2. I got, you know, the press on nails from eBay. I got the jewelry beauty supply store rings. Did my makeup at my friend's house, and we shot this cool photo. The same photo that he had said, oh wow, you look really good, you know, but they didn't take the photo the right way. So I was like, you know what? Let's just shoot that same dress all over again, you know? And we shot this, you guys, and it went viral. It went super duper duper viral, and that was the brokest time in my life, like ever. And it's crazy because you think you need a lot of money to create, but sometimes like it really stretches your creativity. Now I'm glad I'm not in that phase no more of not having money to create, but if you're in that phase of life right now, I want to encourage you, that is where you can really see, are you really a creative? Because if you can't create when you don't have nothing, you're not going to just magically be able to create when you have something. Okay. Social media then versus now. This is my social media when I graduated from college on the left. This is my social media now. The difference is things are more curated, the colors are more thought out, the backgrounds are more cleaner, you know, the poses, everything's organized, more organized. Before it wasn't. Before I was still struggling with a big thing that people do is their thumbnails for their videos. They don't, you know, put a nice photo to go on the thumbnail to go look nice on their feed. All of that matters. Do we have any questions? Okay, if you guys have any questions, just write in there. I'm gonna keep going. About 15 minutes left, and we have about 15 slides left. So, okay, I'm gonna do brand audits. So I'm going to do two. So 2 people, write either your website, your Instagram, your blog, whatever you want me to check in there, and I will do it. I'm gonna do these very fast though, these brand audits. So if you want me to critique your brand, your page, write it in there and I'm gonna look it up and we're gonna do it. Okay, I'm gonna do Nana. Okay, and what's your goal, Nana, with your brand before I even type it? Because that will help me critique it better. Okay, Salon Titi. Nana, na for tell me what's now you go with your brand so that I can like. I mean, I think are you trying to be like a lifestyle influencer, like a fashion and travel? Okay, look at my page along with your point. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I was right. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm just gonna do Nana's. That's it, just because of time. Okay, cool, Nana. Let's go through it. Okay, let me make it a little bit bigger. Okay, Nana. Okay, Binta, Salon Titi. Okay, Lebanese and Salon, and I think Nana Ibini. Sorry, I'm speaking my language because she's from my country. Okay, so you're a grad student, critical care nurse, fashion travel, smart, being a girl boss is my side hustle. Okay, cool. I like this photo a lot. Immediately, I like it. Okay, so good thing that she did, I want to tell y'all, these colors, like these like olives, like nude, these like earth like tones are like so in right now when it comes to the whole blogger and lifestyle world, you guys, because like it just makes people feel like clean, calm, centered. I like my rich tones, of course, but these colors work well, like peaches, um, teals, like she's wearing, you know, even burgundies, oranges, peaches. Okay, so this is great. This is great because you're shooting it against a background that complements it very well, and all of that. And I think you showcase your look very well. Now let's see if you tag. Okay, you tagged your little thing, which is great. And you have minty fresh. I like that. I like this. Like I like everything. I like the caption. I like how you wore. I like that you tagged them. I like that you're wearing a brand like Pretty Little Thing. Not saying that I agree with everything that these brands do, but I'm saying because these are brands that do look for influencers to work with. So if you want to work with these type of brands, you got to buy the stuff and create content with it. And I think that's a good thing that you're already doing, which is great. Okay. I think that you need more posts like that. I think that you're already on a good path. I see like your travel, you have different things. I think you should play around with a little bit more of like holding like food in your hand, holding lip gloss in your hand. I don't know if beauty is one of your things, but try doing like different types of props. Okay, this is good. Like you're at a restaurant. Is this bar taco? I'm just guessing it's bar taco, but I don't know. So you have a caption, play nice. Okay, let's look at your other captions too. Guess the one thing on my mind that makes me smile, winner will get $20 from me. Girl, people will enter that. That's a great way to get people to engage. I like that. I might be biased because she's Sierra Leone and I'm saying I like everything. Okay, so these are my things I would say. I would say you should think about if you want to play with some flat lays or some like shots of other things, but I think it's okay for you to have all of your stuff on here. I think that you can bring your color scheme a little bit more centered. So you have a lot of different colors that you wear, and that's fine. Like I wear a lot of colors, that's my brand. But I think that if you play with these type of colors that you have, like in this minty thing, like the peach is like how your buttons at the top are like nude and stuff. I think that if you're really cognizant of those colors and then your backgrounds with those colors, it'd be great. Like for instance, this photo, there's that girl in the background, it's a little bit distracting. I think you should study composition and rule of thirds. Basically, like this photo here, I don't know if you guys can see where I'm pressing. So there's three photos here, three photos, three photos here. You should use this app, I'll go over it later, called Unnum, and like move your photos around before posting, try different angles and all of that. Another thing I think you should work on is your lines. So like making sure like your lines are working great. So composition is the thing I think you need to work on. Composition, I think you do need to do what I tell everybody to do is create the Pinterest board and see things that you like and put them all together. I think you're doing good though. What else would I say? I also think that well, I guess your profile picture is that for now, you know. Let me look at how your page comes up on Instagram because I'm just looking different, the bio. Oh, also I don't see any links. Not saying you need to rush and create a link out of nowhere, but it's good to have maybe a link tree or you need something else. So either I don't know if you have one already, you need like a YouTube, a blog, or a website, or just something else to let people know that you are trying to be like a blogger, you are a blogger. Um, the next thing I would say is with your bio, you're just listing everything out straight, if you see what I mean here. Try doing it more like if you see what I have, it's more like bulleted. Try doing that, you know. I think that would be good. So like have, you know, one line be what you do, what you where you're from, and then the next thing like the fashion, travel, smart, and then the being a girl boss, my side hustle, like space it out so that it hits like different paragraphs. You get what I mean? Also, I would say scout places in the area that you live to shoot. So what you can do is go on like Google and just Google like best places to shoot in DC, best places to shoot in New York, Instagrammable places in New York, Instagrammable places in DC, and things like that. Okay, now let's go back to the presentation. Um, yeah, no problem, girl. But I think those are the main things I would say. Okay, cool. But yeah, no, I think you're on a good path. Just create more. So I want to challenge you. Like, I don't know if you're in the DMV area. There's some good photographers in the DMV. Try to like shoot like 3 looks a month and plan them. And try to do that for like 3 months consistently and study a few bloggers how they shoot stuff and try to mimic it. Okay, y'all, let's keep going because of time. Come on. Not okay, let's get this out the way, y'all. Let's finish. I know I have 8 minutes. It may go a little bit over time, but I'll do Q&A at the end. So we're almost done. Okay. So you don't need money or fancy cameras to create. All you need is your phone. You guys, start with your phone, you guys. Start with your phone. Start with your phone, okay? All these photos were taken on my phone. The photo on the top right was taken by a random stranger in Italy that does not speak English with my phone. I was on a solo trip. I need to take my photo, okay? The photo below it was taken by my Uber driver. The thing that made all these photos kind of come together is how I edited them after and where I was, okay? Don't be shy to give people direction, y'all. Fight for your content. Fight for your content. I remember when I was in like Paris Fashion Week and I was getting all these photos. Remember a publicist who had helped me get into Paris Fashion Week shows and New York Fashion Week shows had said, "Girl, you be fine. You be getting your content. You be figuring out. You be fighting for your content." I'm like, yeah, you gotta fight for your content because, like, if I don't post it, it didn't happen. You know, and also just because I like taking photos, I like looking cute, I like having memories. I want my kids to look back at these photos and be like, wow, the mom was cool, you know? Start what you have. Like, look, you guys, these are just photos all with my phone of food. So it works for food too, works for makeup, works for everything, you guys. Use your phone. Now let's get into that a little bit more. Do the most of what you have. Maximize every resource around you first before adding or asking for more. Instead of focusing on how you can make money from your brand, focus on how you can be of value to others through your brand. A lot of times people start their brand, they're like, oh, you make money, you make money. No, you need to make content. You make impact. You make people feel good. That's what you need to do. Then you'll make money. Okay, I'm gonna go over some of my favorite apps. So a lot of you guys, if you were in my last workshop, I went over this. I'm gonna go over it very fast. So Facetune, I love Facetune for photo editing. If you guys know any other apps, write them in the chat. If you guys like any of these apps, write about it in the chat. Lightroom is also for mobile. I love it for photo editing. You can also add presets there. You know, you can download presets from bloggers and add it there. InShot, I love using InShot to edit video. I wish InShot had a desktop version. I literally love InShot more than I love iMovie. I freaking love InShot. I use it to edit my stories. I use it to make little cool fashion clips and little cool just, you know, touches to my videos. Tezza app. Y'all, I freaking love the Tezza app. Out of all these, I probably use the Tezza app the most. I love the Tezza app. If you guys see my food looking cute or like my film looking grainy, or if you guys see a little like yellow subtitle, I'm using Tezza app. The app is great. You can use photo and video filters. You can make things look vintagey, add borders, add effects. Next is Unum. Nana, this is what I was talking about when I was doing your audit. Unum is an app you can use to organize your feed. So like when you guys are studying composition, which everyone here needs to study composition, because remember, creating content is just half of this to make your ugly budget look like pretty content. How you curate it, how you present to others. Remember what I said earlier about my dad saying it's about how you cook the food, about how you present to people. That also influences how people are going to perceive your content, okay? So you want to make sure that you're not just posting it weird and like you're not cropping it right. You want to post things in a way that looks very tasteful, very organized, very seamless. You want the captions to look good. All this elevates your content and makes it pretty content. Then we have VSCO, which is photo and video filters as well. I used to use that a lot back in the day. Now I feel like I use Tezza more, but it's pretty much very similar. Okay, let's see. I want to see the chat. I already gave you advice for shooting food. So with this, my friend, she's asking about advice for shooting food, but girl, I've given you a whole lesson in person. So with shooting food, you want to make sure that you're fighting for your content again. So you want to sit next to the window, the light. You don't want to sit in the back of the restaurant where there's no light. You want to also, if you're shooting food like at home, literally take the food outside, put the table up outside. You get better light. You want to get stands and stand on them and shoot from the top down, you know? You want to adjust. Sometimes, a lot of times people, when you shoot your phone, you guys just shoot in real time. You're like, oh, boom, yay. No, you guys, adjust the lighting on your phone, please. I'm begging you. Adjust the lighting on your phone, you guys. So as your photos and editing skills get better, so will your feed, you guys. Remember, when you create this content on a budget, you want to also make sure you're presenting it in a nice way, you guys. Please, please, y'all, please. Do we have any questions? I'm almost done. I think that gives me 10 extra minutes. I will wrap up everything. Okay. If any questions, let me know. I'm going to wrap it up in like the next 5-10 minutes. So I always put this in every single workshop that I teach. You're not scared to start your dream. You're embarrassed to be seen starting small. You guys, there's all these people that we look up to, like Jackie Aina, Patricia Bright. I mean, I look up to people like Nima Benati, you know, and people are just like, oh, I wish I could be like that. I wish I could shoot like that. I wish I could. And it's like, they had to start with like buying their own makeup, with like borrowing stuff from friends, like shooting with a webcam. They started small to get where they are now. Like, you guys have to start. Like Nike, just do it. If you don't start, you'll never ever know what's in you that you can create, you guys. I didn't know that gold photo was in me. I didn't even know all those other photos I took were in me. But I have to start, you guys. Whether you're a rapper, a singer, hairstylist, whatever you are, you have to start. So with starting, you guys, invest in people, right? Invest in services that help you go further. Experts help you go 10 times faster. We help you figure out how to do it. But you can also research Google, but you need to ask people. You need to partner with people who can, but you need to also invest in the services of those that know how to do it. I'm telling you, I've made so many mistakes in my life that, like, if I sit down with you and you talk to me for like 2 hours or even an hour or whatever, or 3 hours or whatever, I'll be able to save you like at least 2, 3, 5 years, even maybe 10 years of struggle. Like, girl, this is what you need to do, collaborate with this person, say it like this, and do this. You get me? But that advice is because I've been doing this for so long. So with that said, you guys, I do want to help you guys with your branding and social media. But I feel like the reason why my workshops are kind of coming to a close is because I feel like a more effective way to do it is through an online course where you guys can go at any time, register, tap in, log in, and boom, you have an archive of all my information about branding, social media, and content in one place. So with that said, I'm launching my branding social media course called Branding Like Whoa. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know from A to Z about building a powerful brand. From now till next Friday, it's on my site. If you use the code 2020 brand, you'll get 50% off of it, you guys. It's going over so much stuff. Here it is in front of you. I'm going to go over a lot of different things about branding on a budget, how to get followers, how to make money on social media. You'll get replays of this workshop and my last workshop. You'll get all the bonus videos from this workshop and the last workshop. You'll get how to start a blog, social media apps. You'll learn about creating your own studio, planning a shoot. You'll learn about the art of content creation. You'll even learn about what to charge as an influencer, and those tips and that, you can use that to get a job. Okay? So some of you guys already bought it from my last workshop. I want to let you guys know that I'm pushing the release date to August 1st. That way I can add a few extra things, you know, get some of my friends to look over and review it for me. But you guys, I want to tell you with this, right? And I will link this in the email I sent you guys after this. But you guys, the reason why I created this was because I know what it feels like to have ideas in your mind and you can't get them out. I know what it feels like to not really like social media and not understand like exactly what to do with it. You know what I mean? Like, I know what it feels like, you guys, for people to use your brand as an example of bad branding. You guys, when I was in college, someone used one of my brands, not me, but a brand that I had, like an online store, as an example of like how not to market a brand. I would just like spam like our group pages and be post this and post that. I wasn't really connecting with the people through my brand. I went from that to every single year I'm invited back to my college to speak about branding. I went from sleeping on the floor in my apartment to being featured in Vogue. I went from not being able to find a job to jobs now. I have literally right now I have 6 job offers in my lap because they're looking at my social media, they're looking at my content, looking at my old workshops, they're looking at me teaching and talking and saying she understands social media. But all of this, it took time. I've been on social media since I was like 11 or 12. I've had a blog since I was like 12 years old, and it takes time to learn all these things. I feel like with this online course, I'm giving you guys a 10 years of experience that I've had with this and helping you guys, boom, jump ahead. Okay? So with that said, I will send you guys the link for my online course. You guys, here's your homework for 2020 is to research, study everything that I just told you guys, okay? Go back through this, watch this again. I'm gonna send you guys the link, okay? Before the end of the day, you guys will get the replay, you guys will get the link to the online course, the code for it, everything, right? Research, you guys, go over this stuff. If I'm telling you guys the replay is up for 48 hours, play while you're cooking. You're like, oh, I want to go back over the studio part or the editorial part. Research, study, learn more. Look up Tesla that I talked about. Look up Nima Bonatti that I talked about, Look at some of the bloggers that I posted and see what they're doing. Research, you guys. Get into this like it's school, okay? It's like school. Study to show yourself approved. Collaborate, you guys. I want you guys to reach out to at least one person to collaborate with before this month ends, okay? And then lastly, create. And when you create, make sure that you share. Share your content on your page, on your blog, on your YouTube. Share the before, the behind the scenes, you gathering stuff, you preparing, share the during, and even share the after, you guys, okay? And lastly, I want to say thank you guys all for attending this workshop. I will just stay on here if anyone has any questions. I will answer 3 questions. Oh, and I need to do a giveaway of some brand audits. So, not brand audits, I'm sorry. I'm going to do giveaways of 2 15-minute consultations. So how I'll do it is I will take questions, and the first 2 people to ask questions, I will give you a brand audit. I will give you actually, no, this is what I'm going to do. Ask questions in the chat, and I will choose 2 random people. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to choose 2 random people to give consults to, okay? I'm just going to choose 2 random people. I don't know how I'm about to do this, but I'm going to choose, okay? I don't know, how should I do this? If you guys have any questions, just please ask them. Okay, yeah, okay. The first 2 people to ask me questions or to tell me what you've learned, I will give you guys a 15-minute free consultation with me, and we'll talk about your brand for 15 minutes. Okay. I'll give y'all like 30 seconds. If not, we're just going to forfeit the giveaway. Someone said, thanks so much for the gems. Thank you for coming, Chanel. And I said, thank you. That means thank you in our language. Thank you so much for coming, girl. I really appreciate when Australians and other creators are on here, you guys. Thank y'all. Chanel said this was really good. I'm really happy you liked it. Okay, if we have no questions, I'm going to just... Okay, Chanel, you won the first free consult. 5 seconds for someone else. And if not, I'm just gonna... Okay, my timer ended. Okay, so Chanel, I'll give you the... Okay, Chanel and Nana, you guys want a free consult. I'll give it to you guys. I will send you all the info and everything before the end of the day. After I'm about to go out to eat and celebrate. So Chanel said, I learned that it doesn't take a lot of money to make your brand pop, just planning and having a good eye. Yes. VIP students, you did well. That's true. And that said, I learned that editorial shooting is high fashion and requires a whole team, whereas blogging for everyday looks. Yes, it is. But I don't want to discourage you. You can't shoot editorial without a whole team. You have to play the part of the other team members. Like that gold photo, I was my own makeup artist and stylist, but I was able to still do it. You get me? But I do feel a little bit more exhausted when I shoot, not even a little bit more. I do feel way more exhausted when I shoot editorials than after shooting blog stuff. Okay. Any other questions or comments? And then Chanel, I'm going to write you guys down as the giveaway winners so that I will remember to email you about your consult or Instagram. And then, If not, we are going to wrap up. Okay, you guys. So thank you guys all for attending so much. I'm hoping this was helpful for you guys. Please watch the replay. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't even know what else. And make sure to check out the online course. I will email you the replay link. I will email you the online course link. I'm email you whatever else I need to email you just to follow up about this. And also, you guys, yeah, just please be encouraged. You don't need a lot of money to create. My best work is when I didn't have that much money. Sometimes I'd be wishing like, damn, like maybe I should, go back to that because I was able to create more. But trust me, you guys, you don't need a lot of money to create. And even if you have money, girl, try to do it on a budget so you can invest in other things. I'd rather do my shoots for the low so that I can travel and shoot and do other things too. Okay, you guys? You guys are all very, very welcome. I want to screenshot something. And thank you guys so much. Okay. Love you guys. I'm logging off. Bye.